Yeah. So Python token. Before going to discuss about the programs directly, we need to know some basic concepts which will be helps us to write the program easily. For that, we'll discuss some basic concepts. Token. What is meant by token? Smallest individual unit in a program. Each and every individual part or component or unit in a program is called as a token. Each and in a program, each and every part will be considered as token. Now we'll see identifiers. These are all the tokens. Keywords, constants, which also called as literals, operators. These are all will be considered as tokens. Now first we'll discuss what is meant by identifiers. First we'll discuss what is meant by identifier. For what purpose we'll use the identifiers? For what purpose we'll use the identifiers? For giving the name of the class, for giving the name of the class, or for giving the file name, for giving the function name, for giving the class name, wherever we would like to give the name of the name as per your user choice. User choice. Either for saving the program or to give the variable name or to give the class name, function name on user uh, interest or the user way he can able to select his own name by following the rules of identifiers based on the situation. Let's suppose I would like to add two numbers. Let's suppose I would like to add two numbers. I need to have two numbers. For accepting the two numbers, A, B, I can take, N1, N2, I can take, but for the reasonable, we need to think. As per the meaning, for what we are taking the variables, we need to consider and we need to get it. So that and all we'll discuss. So num1, num2, by following the rules of identifiers. To give file name, variable name, file name in a sense for saving the program or for saving the instructions. Variable name, class name, function name, etc. So by following the rules of identifiers, we'll choose our name. By following rules of identifiers, we'll choose the name based on situation or meaning. So what are the rules of identifiers? See, an identifier should contain alphabets, either uppercase or lowercase, either uppercase or lowercase, and digits from 0 to 9 and underscore. Except underscore, we should not use any other special symbols in the identifier. Except underscore, we should not use any other special symbols. So ampersand, hash, modulus, comma, any operator or any symbol what we have in the keyboard. Except underscore, we should not use any other special symbols. If we want to combine more than one name as a variable name, so we can use the underscore. We can use the underscore. An identifier should not begin with digit or number. An identifier should not begin with digit or number. Blank space or empty space should not be allowed in an identifier. Finally, keywords cannot be used as an identifier. Keywords or reserved words cannot be used as an identifier. What is meant by keyword? What is meant by keyword? So which has a special meaning, which has special meaning assigned while developing the language. Now, wherever we are using those words, the task what has been assigned for it, it is going to be performed. Wherever we are using those keywords in our programming in the respective language, it is going to be perform the task what it has been assigned for it. That is keywords. See the examples of keywords: if, break, continue, str, float, and we have else, so on. And along with that, we have true, false, none. So here one important point about the keywords. All keywords in Python are in lowercase letters. All keywords in Python are in lowercase letters, except three keywords. So those are true, false, none. So in these three keywords, the first letter is capital letter. Remaining whatever, for these three keywords, the first letter is capital letter, rest all lowercase letters. And in Python language, rest all keywords will be completely in lowercase only. So we have discussed what is meant by keyword, which will be having special meaning, which has been assigned while developing the language. When we are using those particular words, it is going to be perform the task what it has been assigned for it. So because of that only, we should not use those keywords as an identifiers. We should not use the keywords as an identifiers, because if we are using the keywords as a file name or class name, what the task has been assigned for that, if it is performing, what we need to perform, we cannot able to perform it. So because of that only, we should not use that. Because of that, we should not use that. Now, we'll see some examples for the identifiers, whether it is a valid identifier or invalid identifier, by applying the rules. Examples, whether it is a valid identifier or invalid identifier, we'll discuss. Now, number one, that is a valid identifier. One number, it is an invalid identifier. Invalid identifier, that is, it should not begin with digit or number. Number one, so invalid identifier. Invalid identifier, because blank space or empty space not allowed, so it is invalid. The same, if you want to write number 1, I can write it is a valid number 1 if I'm writing like this, or if I'm writing like this also allowed, that is valid. It is valid. So these are the examples what we have for the identifiers. So like this, by following the rules of identifiers, we can able to give the file name. I mean to say, like for saving the program or to save the instructions, what we have written as a program, variable name, class name, function name, object name, wherever the user has to choose their own name, or the programmer has to choose their own name. By following the rules of identifiers, we'll choose that. So these are the identifiers and keywords. So next we'll see constants or literals. So we'll discuss this concept later. So we'll go to the variable. What is the purpose of using a variable? What is the purpose of using variable? So variable is a place will be storing the value with some name, and whenever it is required for us to be used in a program, we can able to use it. We can able to access the data what we have in a variable. Like it is a place to store a value for quick accessing when it is required in program or instructions, wherever it is required for us. Python is strong type language. No need to declare. There is no specific. There is no specific. There is no specific syntax for declaring a variable. Like other languages. But when we are assigning a value to a variable, it is going to be considered that is a declaration. It is going to be considered that is a declaration that we'll discuss. So in C or C++ or Java, any other language, syntax for declaring variable is data type, variable name. So now here, whatever it may be the data type we have, which will be represents what type of data has to be stored in a variable and how much of space it has to be occupied with this one. There will be restrictions. So if it is an integer, 2 bytes will be there, or if it is a long, 4 bytes will be there. Depends on the language, there will be default size, and depends on the operating system, depends on the environment, the size will be varies. The size will be varies. But whereas in Python, there is no specific syntax for declaring a variable. If we initialize a value to a variable, if we assign a value to a variable, then automatically it is going to be considered the value is assigned, and that is a declaration. Without initializing, if we are using the variable, it will give the error. That is undefined symbol. Undefined symbol. Now see here. Uh, Without declaring a variable, if we use it, we'll get error as undefined symbol. Depends on language. So what kind of error message it is going to be get? It is similar to this undefined symbol. Without declaration, we should not use. But in Python, just suppose A is a variable, we are going to be initialize the value 10 for it. Automatically, it is going to be considered the variable is declared and we can able to use it. See, we have Python ideally. There's a basic Python ideally. When we installing the Python from the respective website. So before going to discuss that, Python is an open source software. Python is open source. I mean to say, like, we can able to download Python easily from the respective websites. We can able to use it without paying any amount for license or for downloading anything. We can able to share with our friends also. That I'll show you where we can able to find the Python and how we can download and all. For writing the instructions, how we will do? So the basic IDE will use IDE, integrated development environment. So we have different IDEs. Python ideally is a basic one. When we are downloading Python and if we install Python, automatically this we will get Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, Spider. So these are all different IDEs. So in that there is a basic or default one. When we install Python, automatically this will be getting for us. See, I'll show you where we can able to find this. www.python.org. This is the official website for Python. www.python.org is the official website for Python. www.python.org, the official website for Python. Now see, if we want to see the documentation related to Python, we can able to go with this Python documents. So here we can able to see the tutorial. So each and every topic, they have given very neatly the instructions and the examples very clearly as per the Python. So this is the official website where we can able to get the complete information about the Python. So if you want to get the Python for downloading, see in the downloads, if you go Windows or if your operating system is Mac OS, you can able to go with Mac OS and other platforms also will be available here. So ours is Windows, will enter into this. So these are the different versions what we have with the Python. So usually we have Python 2 and Python 3. So now majority of the cases in the market, the developers or the people are using Python 3 only. So Python 3 only. So Python 3 is not an extension to the Python 2. It is just like some syntaxes also will be different when compared to the Python 2 and Python 3. We can say C++ is an extension to the C language, but it is not an to select. It is a different language where will be develop the C++ language from the C language. Like to select most of the syntaxes has been developed from C language. So the people used to say that C++ is an extension or the next version of C language. No, that is entirely different. So most of the syntaxes in C++ has been derived from C language. So like that, Python 2, Python 3. People will say that Python 3 is an extension to the Python 2, but some syntaxes is also different when compared to the Python 2 and Python 3. So what are those and all we'll discuss. See, the latest version, if you want to download, we can able to download related to our operating system bit number. So here, Windows installer 64-bit, Windows installer 32-bit. So which is ours. Based on our operating system, we can able to use it. See, we have the instruction here. Note that Python 3.10.7 cannot be used on Windows 7 or earlier. Windows 7, Windows XP, these and all, we should not use this. The latest versions, like after Windows 7, whatever the operating systems we have, we can able to use this. Any versions. So whichever we want to use, we can able to use. Whenever we are downloading this and if we install, then automatically we will be getting this by default. Whatever may be the IDE we are using, will be having two modes of instructions. We'll be having two modes of instructions. What will be the two modes of instructions? Two modes of IDE. Two modes of IDE. One is interactive mode, and the second one is script mode. If it is an interactive mode, where we can able to see with a Python command prompt. So is Python command prompt is Python command prompt. So whatever it may be the instructions, we can able to write here in one line. After writing the instructions, simply we are going to be enter, we are going to be get the output. No need to save the program, no need to execute it. So if more than one line of instruction instance, we cannot able to use the interactive mode. Then definitely we need to go with the script mode, one or more instructions, which will be suitable for single instruction. No need to save the instructions or the statement. If it is a script mode, one or more instructions can be executed. Those instructions need to save with file name .py extension. .py extension will be represents that this is a Python file. See, this is an interactive mode. Just I am writing some Python instructions. Hello. So after giving enter, immediately it is going to be get. If you are writing one instruction, saving the instruction and executing that and all, it is a time-taking process. So directly, simply we can able to execute like command line interface. So 4 plus 5, so like a calculator, we can able to use. Like more than one instruction, if you want to write, then we need to enter into the, see, we are getting with this Python command prompt, which will be considered as interactive mode. Interactive mode in a sense, wherever we are giving the instructions, we are going to be get the output immediately to us. Output immediately we are going to be get. Now, script mode, one instruction or more than one instruction if I'm writing, we are going to be use this script mode. Hello. So just if I'm trying to run this, it will ask us to save. We can use the shortcut also for saving the program. So demo.py. So no need to give the py extension also because it is going to be saved as type Python files, but better practice .py. So now it is going to be get the output in the interactive mode. If you observe here, I have written only one line of instruction and I'm seeing the output in the interactive mode. So if we are writing one line of instruction or more than one line of instruction, first we need to save it and we need to execute it. If I'm writing, so what is the print statement and all, I'll explain. So we need to get it. Or for executing this, we can able to use F5 as a shortcut. F5 as shortcut. Like that also we can able to execute this. These are how we can able to use the interactive mode and script mode for executing the Python instructions.